front, Principal Secretary in charge of crop development at the Ministry of Agriculture, Richard Lesiampe, has blamed last year's open-ended gazette notice for sugar imports as having opened the floodgates for unscrupulous dealers to bring in contraband and potentially toxic sugar into the country. Lesiampe told Parliament that the National Treasury failed to consult the Agriculture and Food Authority on the quantity of sugar that was required to be imported to compensate for the shortfall in the local sugar production that had been affected by drought. KTN's senior political affairs reporter Patrick Amimo has been looking into this.
When Principal Secretary Richard Lesiampe appeared before the National Assembly Committee on Implementation, members were keen to have him explain how contaminated sugar, that is a subject of investigation by both Parliament and multi-agency investigating team, found its way to Kenya. Lesiampe said Kenya witnessed a serious drought in 2017 that affected crop production and led to skyrocketing prices for basic foodstuffs, including sugar.
Sugar was actually at around 200 to 300 shillings a kilo. The only situation that I think probably brought a situation that today is causing us problem is that the Gazette notice was issued. You know, it was issued by National Treasury. There was no limit on, in terms of quantity. There was no type of sugar. And to a great extent, of course, as it is said, and I want also to confirm, it is possible that that's one of the situations that actually led to what we are probably experiencing today.
Lesiampe accused Treasury of not consulting Agriculture Ministry.
We have very, very clear laid down procedures of how to license, sugar importation. One is that we have a committee that sits, and deliberates on any application. There is a fee to be paid for that. We also give limits. We also give the amount of sugar that must be imported, because we also look at what we have in the country and project, what we need into the future. And therefore, this situation where we are not involved, created a situation whereby, because the Gazette notice actually said anyone can import sugar.
In February 2016, Parliament adopted a report of the National Assembly's Departmental Committee on Agriculture on the crisis facing the sugar industry in Kenya. Parliament recommended that Hyder AP Limited, Krish Commodities Limited, Risud Enterprises, Sheikh Distributors Limited, and Free Sai Industries Limited be banned from import and export business for having imported sugar without a permit from the sugar regulator. Lesiampe told members that the Agriculture Food Authority has not renewed import licenses for the 5 companies for the 2017-2018 financial year. Parliament also recommended that the government should cancel import licenses for 5 other companies that infringe regulations governing public health standards for repackaged sugar. But curiously, some of the blacklisted companies imported sugar last year.
It is true that some of these companies, actually these companies listed, were blacklisted. The only reason why I want to emphasize here is that why they managed to bring sugar in was because, I think with the Gazette notice where they actually accessed and could bring it, if they came through AFA, there was no way they were going to actually import sugar, because we had the information that they were blacklisted.
Lesiampe says though the Agriculture and Food Authority has in the past collaborated with other agencies, it has not been co-opted into the Inter-Agency Enforcement Unit to tackle sugar smuggling. Patrick Amimo, KTN News.
Elsewhere, the menace of illicit brews continues to be a challenge in Kenya, and while some parts of the country, the fight to end it remained confrontational. The provincial administration in Nyatika area in the county of Migori are now partnering with elected leaders to help the brewers start alternative businesses. KTN's Kevin Ogutu now reports from Migori.
Pamela Akinyi has been in the business of brewing and selling chang'aa, a popular yet illegal gin, for 26 years now.
Kukuja hapa nikapata mama ya bwana ilikuwa nafanya hii kazi ya pombe. Kwa hivyo ilikuwa pesa ile ilikuwa nimetoka naye town iliisha. Sasa nimeanza kujaribu kufanya hiyo kazi.
But this, as she narrates, would amount to one thorny relationship with the members of the provincial administration. The residents of Nyatika are pretty aware of the dangers of brewing and sale of the drink, whose production remain unregulated and clearly unsafe for consumption.
Inafanya wa vijana inakuwa hawezi kawafanya kazi vizuri, hawawezi hata kuwafanya business ambazo zinaweza kuwaletea maisha mzuri.
Peter Ochanda, the assistant chief of Alendo sublocation, recounts the struggle that has been there between the public and the provincial administration.
We have chang'aa crackdowns. We visit the dens. arrest den owners, take them to police.
But now there is a smile on the face of Pamela Akinyi, who is now glad to go back to her fishing business, a business she has better knowledge of than any other. At the center of this philanthropy is area MCA Jackie Paul.
We want to empower them, and we are going to do follow-up as one of the things through administration, that every week we could do a home visiting, sightseeing, if the developments we've given them is going on.
But while some are heeding this wind of change, not everyone from Kanyasa ward in Nyatike is keen on getting on board.
Pombe ni mzuri. Pombe mzuri, lakini kuuza ni mbaya, lakini kukunywa hivi ni mzuri.
Kevin Ogutu, KTN News, Migori County.
An administration police officer, Leakey Maina, has pleaded not guilty to charges of murdering Meru University student leader Evans Njoroge in February this year. The officer attached to Miathene AP camp denied murder charges when he was arraigned before a Meru court early Thursday. Maina took the plea in a court packed to capacity by family members and university students. Our George Maringa reports from Meru.
Thursday morning, Leakey Maina, an administration police officer based at the Miathene AP camp in Meru, took his place on the dock at the Meru law courts to take plea. He denied charges of murdering Evans Njoroge, alias Kidero, who was a student leader at the Meru University. His lawyer, Charles Gasishio, however, requested that he be released on bail, a request which the prosecution vehemently opposed. It was a case that saw students from Meru University and their leaders gather at the court premises to show solidarity with their departed leader.
Today, we have known the dog. We want to know the owner of the dog. Today, we want to stop police brutality.
We will not allow our students, the cream of the society, to face insecurity in the institutions.
Evans was one of us, and we are kindly asking the government to please give us a secure environment where we are free to dream and actually achieve our dreams.
We as comrades, we stand in as one family, and that's why we've come all the way from Nairobi to stand with the Meru University students.
Evans, a fourth-year mathematics and computer science student, harbored dreams of joining politics in future before he was felled by a bullet.
Kusudi letu lilikuwa kwamba mwaka huu tutakuja graduation hapa Meru, lakini maono hayo yaliweza kukatizwa, ambayo imetuweka kwa giza na kwa hofu.
A ray of hope for obtaining justice for the late student leader seems to be in the horizon for the family, and all eyes will be set on Justice Francis Gekonyo as he is set to deliver a ruling on the bail application for the accused person tomorrow, Friday, the 27th of July, exactly 5 months after Evans was shot dead on the 27th of February this year. George Maringa, KTN News, Meru County.